Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're going to be jumping down into the charts for XRP, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what we think is likely to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you have not yet joined us in Discord, then you are missing a trick. Linked in the description down below. It's completely free. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7, and it is the first place that we go to notify you of what has been going on in the crypto space. So why not check it out? Linked in the description down below. Okay, let's go ahead and make a start on this. As you can kind of see, we've been bouncing between the supply zone and the demand zone. Okay, here we have XRP paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. Okay, that's where this one is. Now, I do think we've got an interesting structure emerging here from this high area here of this larger supply zone, and I do think we are going to be heading back up towards it. Okay, and I do think we're going to see a pretty interesting run here. So let me go ahead and walk you through why I think this, and why I think it is still corrective. It's not the signs of a fantastic run or anything like that, and it is basically just going to be a corrective structure before we drop back down. Now, today the 16th of December, yesterday was the 15th, another date has come and gone, and all the usual kind of stuff. I'm not going to dwell on that too much, but essentially people who are predicting dates, it isn't working out too well. So just probably avoid dates for a little while, and when these things happen, they happen. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the structure. So essentially we have this three-wave move to the downside, right? And it actually comes from this three-wave move up, three waves coming down here, and we actually peaked a little bit lower than this, right? So we've come down ever so slightly lower. Okay, so I'm looking at this move here as three waves, and I'm looking at potentially a move coming up here into a C wave. So let me walk you through why I think we have this kind of structure emerging here. Okay, so I think that we've kind of got ourselves into an ending diagonal structure just here, and I do think what we've kind of got going on is this A, B, C kind of structure. Okay, now as a running flat, we could end here, but as an expanded or irregular flat, I think we're going to come over here. So essentially what I think is going on is we've come up here into this kind of A, B, and C structure into the supply zone, and now we have this irregular flat correction occurring here. The irregular flat basically has this B wave peak come past the origin level. Okay, so where this A wave here started, it's gone up a little bit higher, and the irregular flat should go past the A wave. On a running flat, it can end where it is, and it doesn't have to come down lower than the A wave. Okay, so knowing the different structure here is important, but this I do think is actually a B wave movement out of a bigger move. This means that I'm expecting essentially another move to the upside after this, and I would expect it to try to actually break out of this supply range and come up into this one. Okay, I could be a little bit off on there, but that's where I think this is heading, and we'll see how that plays out. But essentially, that's kind of where my mind is at the moment. And you know, for this, where we are right now, I think is an ending diagonal structure. And if I come into that, because we have to have these irregular corrections finish in 5 waves, if I draw this out, we kind of have this kind of movement here, for example. Let me have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of structure coming down here. And I think we're going to end up with this. So it's 5 waves, and the ending diagonal is actually in the wave 3, wave 5. So 1, 2, 3, up here for 4, right? And this part here is the ending diagonal, and it's basically a lot of overlap. I still think we've got one more leg down into this final 5th wave low point, somewhere down here towards the end of our demand zone. And then I think we're going to bounce up and then maybe pull back down just a fraction lower than we were previously. Okay, so we are looking to come down just lower than 37.07 cent, okay, with that final 5th wave movement and that C wave. So hopefully that makes sense. I know there's a lot of kind of things to think about there. It's actually quite complicated within here. So if I actually just show you what the ending diagonal part is, it's not the 5 wave drop, it's actually the 5th wave of the 3rd wave, and it is in here. I think we've kind of gone 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got to come down into these lows on the 5th, like so. Okay, so that's kind of my expectations, and I would say it's probably going to be an expanding diagonal at that. So we'll keep an eye on it. It's one of those, just kind of see how that plays out, and then we rally on up. Now, from our momentum indicator, let me just grab that supply zone text and just pull it over here so we can see what these are. Now, if I bring up our momentum indicator, you can see that we're overbought on this 1 hour chart. This basically tells us that we haven't quite finished with the short-term correction just yet, but we are, oversold on the 4 hour, the daily, for example. So if I bring up the stochastic RSI here, okay, and we just focus in on that 4 hour chart, you can see that we're down here in the oversold area. The 8 hour chart still has this progression to the downside. The 12 hour still has to go down. The 16 hour still has to go down. The 20 hours just coming down into that oversold range, and the daily is just coming back down in there. Okay, the weekly still has some room to go down. Okay, so what I mean by all of this is that we've got this kind of finish off this in my opinion, irregular flat correction, coming down lower than 37.07, and I would expect us to actually pull back down a little bit lower than that, I would say. Let me just go ahead and kind of get this estimated out right in here. I would say, yeah, we could be about the 36.48 cent range, just around here, is where I would kind of say that we should be aiming. So we still have that room to the downside, but once done and once complete, I am expecting this larger move to the upside, and I would say that we should be looking at the larger demand zone, which is this one just up here. Okay, if I zoom out of this for a second, just to come up, peak back up here before we collapse back down. My targets haven't changed at the moment, still 26.59 cent on the lower side to complete our structure. It all depends whether or not we come up higher in this B wave movement. But again, we have this really choppy correctiveness going on right now. Eventually this will end, this continuation pattern that we've seen, right? It's sort of been going on for pretty much 2 to 3 weeks now, this kind of continuation, this sideways trading, right, in XRP. We've been bouncing around on those smaller time frames, but essentially it is just going sideways when you zoom out. We are looking for this move to the downside, okay, so it's just a matter of waiting it out. I do think we have to come up into this supply zone just a fraction more, and then we can drop down more significantly. What the catalyst is, I do not know, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough, and we'll be able to take it from there. So yeah, I think that's kind of going to conclude everything on this this video for today on XRP. There isn't terribly too much to talk about, so it's just traded sideways. No conclusion with the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit yet, and it is of course the 16th of December. I'll leave that to you guys to discuss in the comments down below. But if you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you have not yet joined us in Discord, go ahead, check it out, linked in the description below. Guys, until the next one, have a fantastic day.